What's up, guys? I have two 2025 Ford F-350 Super Duties. One's an XLT, one's a Lariat. And here's a quick test. Which truck is the Lariat? If I had to guess, I'll be honest, this would be tough if I didn't already know, because these trucks look exactly the same. Now, I can't wait to show you guys the pricing. I did this on purpose. The Lariat is very close in price with this XLT. So if you're kind of in between these two trims, this is the perfect video for you. I borrowed these trucks from Ken Garf Ford here in West Valley, Utah. Be sure to ask for Ken. Let's go ahead and check out the window stickers on the XLT first, and then I'll show you guys the Lariat. So this is the carbonized gray, which is the XLT. And then here are all the options on this truck. So if you're planning to deck out an XLT to save money to not have to buy a Lariat, I think that's a bad idea. Now, if you do want the black appearance, or if you want the XLT premium, these two packages have to be bought together. So yeah, that's what, a little over 9 grand. So I would venture to say, I don't know, I think I would probably really consider Lariat if you plan on adding this much stuff. I mean, this thing has just about every option you can get. So base price was $57,000, and this does have the standard output power stroke, and total price is $82,580. Here is the description for the Lariat. Antimatter blue is the color. If you're on a budget and you really want a Lariat, this is how you would build it. Standard output power strokes there, has the 355 locker, black appearance, FX4, rapid heat, engine block heater, does have the power sliding glass right there, upfitter switches. So decently spec truck, I would say. Now base price for this one is $66,040 with total price at $85,080. When you consider the base price of these two trucks, the Lariat is going to cost you $9,040 more. Most people are going to say, I'll just stick with the XLT after hearing that. $10,000 is a lot of money. However, between these two trucks, it's a price difference of $2,500. And if you wanted more apples to apples, I did take out a few options for the XLT to make it more comparable. That Lariat does cost $5,040 more if these trucks were apples to apples. So with that being said, for me, I think I would rather have leather seats, because you'll see in a second, you do have more features with the leather seats. I think I would just go with the Lariat for 5Gs. I'm just saying, apples to apples. Now, on the front end, one thing I love about these redesigned Ford Super Duties is you get LED lights. Even on your XLT trims, even the STX gets them as availability too. Gives you the LED fog lights, it paints the front bumpers, and it gives you that really nice black appearance up front. And I think most people to this day still like and prefer that monochromatic look. Most people don't want chrome anymore. And when you see the front end of these trucks, there's really no way of telling a difference. The only thing that they did for 2025 is they did change the grille design for the black appearance. As far as wheels and tires go, they both have identical wheels, identical tires. These are the Bridgestone Dueler all-terrains. It's going to be an LT 275/65/20, which is basically 34.1 inches tall and 10.8 inches wide, 3,750 pounds of capacity, fabric material for the liner on both sides. These fixed running boards do come a part of that, what's that package called? The black appearance. And all your trimming, it's going to be blacked out for both sides. And you guys see the mirrors? You see the difference? They do give you a painted mirror cap in black. This comes standard on Lariat, however. And down below, puddle lights are there. You have these forward lights if you're stationary, and you have power sliding tow mirrors. That is an option for this XLT. So you have to get that XLT premium package. By the way, these painted door handles are an option for XLT. They come standard on Lariat. Configuration for the cabs and bed are the same. 34-gallon fuel tank. When you get black appearance, they do give you the liner in the rear, so it comes a part of that package. And you guys see right there, leaf pack is not going to change because they're both 1-ton trucks. Now this truck does have the optional step here, also fifth wheel prep package, and this one does have the 2000 watts of power in the bed for the 985. Bed lights are here. Now that high center mount is an option. Of course, that power sliding glass with defrost option. And on this side of the house, for 2025, they made that power sliding glass an option, but that camera above the bed comes standard. So what are you taking away from this video? A lot of times, a lot of the features that you probably would want on these trucks already come standard for Lariat, right? As far as the taillights go, no change there. Painted bumpers, class 5 hitches, nothing's gonna really change in regards to that. One thing worth mentioning, tough bed does come a part of black appearance, and I might have brushed over it and I can't remember now, but those fixed running boards come a part of the black appearance too. And just below the truck here, if you would like a locker, that is an option for both sides. They both have the 355 with the locker, or you could get a 331 too. Let's go ahead and talk about these powertrains next. For 2024, if you wanted the 7.3, that was actually the standard engine for these two trucks, which is the gas V8. For 2025, the standard engine is now the 6.8 liter gas V8. Has a different transmission behind it, and for the most part, I'll say Ford didn't really adjust the price for these trucks. And if you want the 7.3, I believe it costs an additional $1,000. Could be a little bit more than that, but I know it's about $1,000 for sure. Now, obviously, these trucks do have the standard output power stroke, and they're both available with the high output. So that's the nice thing about these trim levels. Depending on the powertrain you want, you have options there regardless of trim level. So 500 horsepower, 1200 pound-feet of torque is high output. This one has 475 horsepower and 1050 pound-feet of torque. The gas 7.3 has 430 horsepower and 485 pound-feet of torque. The 6.8 liter has 405 horsepower, I believe, and 445 pound-feet of torque. All of those engines have 10-speed transmissions. Gas engines have the option to have a 373 for F350 or 430, and then yeah, it's for 7.3 and for the 6.8. Let's check out the interiors. The XLT does have that work truck appearance for the interior. Now this is all upgraded because of that premium package, so you want to do some research if you are considering both of these trucks. You guys see on the seat, you do have power for the seat bottom and lumbar. However, your seat back is manually adjusted. However, you still have a tilt and telescoping steering wheel, and you guys probably saw you have power tow mode and power folding outside mirrors, auto up and down, and you do have an upgraded sound system. So this is the 8-speaker B&O, because if you don't get that, you get the work truck sound system. Let's check out the Lariat. With the Lariat, they do give you a more premium interior. See, that gray for that XLT reminds me of a work truck. And they do make the materials just a little bit more premium, a little bit more cushioning here. That B&O sound system does come standard, and Ford blesses you with the 3 seat memories for Lariat, not available for that XLT. Standard, and check that out. A full power seat, 10-way. Also, you have perforated leather, great bolstering. Now this truck nor the XLT does have tilt headrests. If you want tilt headrests, you can get the ultimate package, and that will give that to you. Tilt and telescoping steering wheel for 2025 is manual. Last year it was power. So as I said, just a few funny things they did for Lariat to cheapen it up a little bit for sure. Power pedals. Does that XLT have power pedals? Let's see. It does not. But it does have the 12-inch display here, and here also it does have push button start. Now this push button start is an option on this truck. And as you guys saw, the center console too is an option. Now if you go ahead and start it up, you guys did see this truck had the cameras on the outside. Maybe I didn't show it to you, but yeah, you do have 360 camera. And with this truck, you do not have an option to get the wireless charger. I didn't think you could, but I figured I would just wait to show it to you. Multiple drive modes, you guys see the lockers right there. There is no availability for the heads-up display for XLT. However, for the Lariat, it is available under the Ultimate package. But you guys see, or maybe you can't with the glare there, both trucks have the exact same screens. The only thing that you get extra with this truck is you get a heated steering wheel and ventilated seats. The XLT does have heated seats just like this truck does. And up top here, auxiliary switches is available. Now for the Ford XLT, can you get HomeLink? Let's see. You cannot, but you have auxiliary switches right there. And again, if you just don't like leather seats, that's probably the only reason why you would get this XLT truck. I really wish that Ford would change the design for this interior. Now on this side, both trucks do give you a cover, although it's a little bit nicer for the Lariat. There's your paper. This truck does not have the camper package that is available if you want to use this truck to haul a camper. Now with this center console, you do have two USBs inside of here. Let's go ahead and check out the difference for the Lariat. There's the center seat. They do provide storage right here. It is lockable too, by the way. And you still have the USBs. You have two 12-volt power plugs, 120 volt. And if you do want to put the seat down, you don't need that extra passenger. This does act as an armrest. You have some cup holders and some extra storage. The cover, as I said earlier, is a little bit nicer on this truck. By the way, can you get a power seat on the XLT on the passenger side? Let's see. Of course not. You barely have a full power seat on the driver's side. But I figured I'd make it a little fun right there. Okay, out back. Really nice style here on the top part of the door. Nice trim piece, place for a bottle maybe. They still provide a 60/40 bench, although you don't have that collapsible storage. You don't have an armrest in the center there. As you guys saw on the outside, that was all an option, including the defrost. USBs, 120 volt power plug, air vents, and seat back pocket for both sides. For the Lariat, again, just a little bit more premium design for the interior. Also, even though this doesn't have the center console, you would not have outboard heated seats with this truck unless you get the Ultimate package. Cup holders right there, seat back pockets, and as I said, you didn't have an armrest for the XLT, but you do have one for Lariat. And you also get this collapsible storage too. Let's go ahead and check out the payload, because reality is this Lariat should have less payload, but we're going to start with the XLT first. Front gross axle weight rating is going to be 5,200 pounds. The rear is going to be 7,230. Sorry for the glare there. 12,000 pound gross vehicle weight rating. 20/8 wide wheels. All these numbers are going to be the same for both trucks, but here's a payload at 4,045 pounds. You guys see the tire pressure. As I said earlier, all the numbers I called out are going to be the same for both trucks, but this does have more payload. And I will say that's really in part to one thing. This truck did not have 5th wheel prep package, and this one did. Everyone wants lower pricing on these trucks, and I agree the trucks could use some price adjustments down. But if you want your truck to look like this, it's still going to cost you something. If you go back 15 years, you could never get an XLT like this. It just didn't happen. Your truck was going to be a little bit more basic looking, even when you got a bunch of options on it. However, today you have the opportunity to make your XLT look like a Lariat. Like, you could not tell these trucks apart, even if you tried, unless you obviously could see the interior. But apart from that, if this Lariat had front parking sensors from the Ultimate package, that's the only way I would be able to tell. But they have the exact same front fascia. You could not tell them apart 100%. But I hope you guys liked the video. I want to make one correction. I think I might have said you could not get the XLT Premium without the black appearance. That was incorrect. And if I don't fix it in the video, I want to make sure I said it here. You can get that as a standalone. And be sure to check out what's in that package. A lot of nice features come in there for the truck. So if you don't necessarily want the blackout or the front painted bumpers or LED headlights, that package by itself is perfect for this truck. Hope you guys liked the video. Be sure to check out Ken Garf's website. See you guys soon.